Meegan from Hayti High School, and I chose to do my project over how cognitive learning is affected by carbon dioxide levels. It was recently discovered that different amounts of exposure to carbon dioxide could cause potential health issues in people, such as headaches, increased heart rates, drowsiness, slight nausea, a stuffy air effect, lower attention rates, poor concentration levels, and in worst cases, oxygen deprivation, and even death. These results were discovered in studies done by the University College London and Harvard School of Public Health that carbon dioxide levels have a direct correlation to a person's cognitive learning. I studied the problem of why do students have low grades and issues remembering what they had been taught and how they learned in the school. Previous studies have shown that carbon dioxide levels are linked to the student's cognition. By performing this experiment, it will help to support the research on how lower carbon dioxide levels are better in a school setting to help increase the learning factor. I had two separate hypotheses for this experiment. My first hypothesis is that if plants are added to the classroom, then there will not be a change in the carbon dioxide levels or in the students' cognitive learning levels. My second hypothesis was that if plants are able to remove enough carbon dioxide from the classroom, then the students' cognitive learning will increase. This is the hypothesis that I did go with in my experiment. These are a list of the materials that I did use in my experiment, such as the Chromebook or any kind of computer that can download the Werner Graphical Analysis Program number 4. And I used 5 of the Hawaiian sunshine plants to attempt to remove the amount of carbon dioxide from the air. When I done my experiment, I plugged the carbon dioxide meter into the USB port of the Chromebook or whatever computer I had. I then started up the Werner Graphical Analysis Program. I waited a minute and clicked the start button on the graph to start graphing the carbon dioxide levels in the classroom. I allowed for the Chromebook to graph the carbon dioxide levels in the classroom for 5 minutes or 300 seconds each time I ran my test. On a piece of paper, I wrote down the data in which the readings were taken, the amount of people that were in the classroom at the current time, the level of carbon dioxide in the room when I started my readings, and the level of carbon dioxide in the classroom at the end of my readings. After the readings were taken, I let the students in my class to look at a list of 20 random words that I had gotten off a random word generator website. These words consisted of five one-syllable words, 5 two-syllable words, 5 three-syllable words, and 5 four-syllable words. Each were randomized and were never used more than once per list. After a minute, we took the list away and gave them a minute to write down all the words that they were able to remember. I then added an odd number of Hawaiian sunshine plants to the classroom each time I ran my test, starting at number 1. We then watered the plants every day with 50 milliliters of water, and I repeated the steps 1 through 9 for 4 weeks, taking readings on the same day every week, which I chose to be on a Thursday. And then I analyzed my data by putting the information into a t-test and figuring out what the significance was every week. This was my graph showing the average number of words that each gender of students were able to remember. And we were able to realize that after week 3 of the test, that there was a significant increase in one-syllable words as compared to the initial test on week 1. This graph actually showed the first time we were able to find a significant increase in the students' cognitive learning and their memory due to the lower amounts of carbon dioxide in the classroom. To conclude, my results did support my hypothesis that lower adding more plants to the classroom will remove more carbon dioxide from the air, allowing for students to have a larger level of cognitive learning. My data showed that after 3 weeks of running my tests, there was a significant increase in the amount of words that the students had, the amount of one-syllable words that the students were able to remember. I found that my project was able to support that in a classroom-type environment, that with the multiple plants, enough carbon dioxide will be removed from the air, and the students' cognitivity will increase. I also was able to support the fact that, or the information that carbon dioxide levels had a direct tie to a student's cognition. That being, the more carbon dioxide in the air, the lower their cognitive learning was, and the less carbon dioxide that was in the air, the better their cognitive learning was. And I did find that there was a significant increase in the cognitive learning after the fourth and fifth plant was added to the classroom on week 3.